What's going on, everyone? It's Sean with Marketing for Service Professionals, and due to popular demand, today I'm making a video with 7 to 8 tips on how to organically and for free rank your Google business listing so that when people search for a service that you provide, you naturally just come up in that map pack that we all so greatly want to get ranked in. And I have a handful of tips that you can start doing today to get that to rank without having to pay a single dime. As always, guys, please hit the subscribe button to the YouTube channel. It really helps the channel grow so I can continue to put out this content. Everything that I put out on YouTube is absolutely free. All that I ask is that you subscribe to the channel just so that we can keep making this awesome content. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the Google My Business account dashboard, and I'm going to show you these 7 or 8 tips. All right, so we are in the Google My Business dashboard. You can reach this by going to business.google.com. As always, when I make these videos, I recommend that if you're doing any kind of follow along, that you try to do it on a desktop. It's much easier to do, and obviously you're going to be able to follow along with me because I'm on a desktop. So if you don't already have a Google My Business account, like if you're just getting started, I made a video, and I'll try to link it in the description of this so you can watch on how to create a Google My Business account. But assuming that you already do and you're ready to start ranking it, the very first tip that I have for you is to post daily. So the Google business platform has a place where we can essentially post. Think of it kind of like a Twitter feed, like kind of in a very similar fashion. What we want to do is we want to post on this feed daily if we can. The more, the merrier. The reason this really helps you is because like Facebook, Google comes out with certain features, and the more that you use their newer features, the more that they reward you because you're, using their newer features, if you will. So just by using some of these features, it's going to rank you, not to mention all the keywords and things. So jumping right into it, on the left-hand side of the page, there's a tab that says posts. We can click on that, and then we'll have this create your first post. And then here, we're just going to write something, I'm not going to be very creative, but I'm going to write something like helped a new customer get their house all cleaned up today. Feels great. Obviously, guys, be a little bit more creative than I am. Great. And then you have the option to add a button. What I would do almost 9 out of 10 times is I'm going to put call now, verify that the phone number that it autofills is the right one. The one that is going to autofill is the phone number that you have listed on your Google business listing. And then we hit publish. And that's pretty much it. So, now that's going live, and that's just, again, one of those things that's really going to help us. And you want to try to post on this daily. As you saw, it took me not even 30 seconds to do that. If you can get in the habit of making a post a day here, it's going to tremendously help you out. The very next thing that we have, the second tip to help rank your Google listing is going to be to add. That's a very tongue-twisted sentence. We just want to add all of the services. We want to double check and make sure that we have every single possible service that we offer listed on our services page, because it's going to help with that keyword ranking when people search for the services they're looking for. As long as we have the proper services listed, it's going to help us rank a little bit higher. So on the left-hand side, under the services tab, we can go here, and we just want to make sure that we have all of the services listed. What will really help here is if you have really good descriptions of the services. So like, for instance, here we have 300 characters that we could fill this description up with, and we want to fill it up with as many keywords as possible without sounding really weird, right? So adding, terms like, soft washing, pressure washing, house cleaning, exterior cleaning, writing the service description in a way that encompasses a lot of keywords is super vital. So my second tip is going to be add as many services as you can and provide here, because it's going to help with that keyword ranking. The third tip that I have for you is kind of like the last tip. We want to make sure that the description of our business includes as many keywords of services that we provide as possible. So what we want to do is on the left-hand side, we go to info, and under info, we should scroll a little ways down, and right here is your description, right? So this is a brief description of your business. And so again, what we want to do here is we want to fill this with as many keywords of services that we provide, because at the end of the day, what we're doing with posting and adding more services and service descriptions, writing the description for our business, is we're trying to give Google as many keywords of services that we provide and a redundancy of them, because the more of the same keyword that is used throughout our entire Google business listing, the more likely we are to get ranked in that. So the third tip that I have for you is, if you already have a description, go and take a look at it and make sure that it is filled up with keywords of services that you provide. So the fourth tip that I have for you is going to be based on reviews. I know you probably hear about this all the time. Now, reviews won't necessarily rank your website higher per se. Obviously, the more higher reviews that you have, it might help with the ranking, but primarily what this is doing is the more high ranking reviews that you can get, the more likely a customer is to reach out to you. So you have to think about it. If I'm a homeowner and I need my grass cut and I go to a Google business listing that has 4 reviews at 4.7 and I find somebody that has 90, even if they're 4.5, I'll probably go with them, because as a homeowner, we're kind of like, cut from the same cloth, if you will, when it comes to choosing services and products, right? When we see other people that are using a particular product or a particular service, we're more likely to purchase that product or that service. The other thing it does when you're getting reviews, the other thing to keep in mind is, and I'll give you a tip for how to get reviews, but you need to make sure that you're interacting with your reviews. So if you go on the left-hand side, there's reviews, and what you want to make sure that you do is on all of your reviews, you want to reply. You always want to reply to every single one of your reviews and increase that engagement. It's the same thing that goes with your social media posts. Anytime you post on social media and somebody comments, try to drag out the conversation and make that feed as long as you possibly can. Now, when it comes to actually getting reviews, obviously there are some really great CRMs out there where they automatically send the link to your Google listing so that you can get reviews. But if that's not the case, try to incentivize. These reviews, like I said, for future growth are so critical. Even if it's offering a homeowner, hey, I'll knock off $10 off your service if you can leave us a 5-star review on Google. It really helps us grow. Make sure that you have some kind of tangible way to give them that link. The best way is to send it to them via text or email. Text is obviously going to be better. So what I would do is that, like, if you have a smartphone and your CRM doesn't automatically send a link, is I would maybe keep a link of your listing, maybe somewhere in your notes, and every time you provide a service, take that and then just text it to them with a short message. Thanks so much for choosing our business. We really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star review. The reason you want to do that and not put it on a business card or something like that is nobody wants to type all of that out manually. If you send it to them in a clickable link in their phone, if you just came to my house and cut my grass and you did a stellar job and you send me a text with that, I can click on it and it just opens it right up and I can write a quick review. It's very hassle-free, if you will. So, that's kind of a tip in and of itself, but make sure that you are responding to all of your reviews, and make sure that you're getting your reviews out there to your customers that you're performing services for as much as you possibly can. The fifth tip that I have for you is, it's very similar to the advice I would give for social media, and it's just being active on your platform. If it helps you, set reminders in your phone daily to make sure that you're coming in here, you're checking your reviews, you're making your posts, and then obviously the next tip I'm going to give you, which is going to be, adding any photos when you can. I know it sounds kind of mediocre, I guess, to just set reminders just to go check your Google My Business, but I promise you, if you start to do a lot of this stuff on a daily basis, responding reviews, posting, it will absolutely help your Google ranking in the long term, which leads me to the next tip that I have, which is submitting photos as often as you can. So on the left-hand side here, we have the photos option. And here we can add videos, we can add photos, we can do all of that stuff. And obviously when we're adding these photos, they're going to show up not only in the Google business listing, but we'll be able to provide a description of the photo and add those keywords in there. So I would definitely add as many pictures as you can. Only good stuff, obviously, because what's going to happen is when people search for your service and you pop up, there's going to be a whole pile of photos, and I'll show you here in a second. There's a whole pile of photos that show up, so you want to make sure that your best work is being showcased here. All right, so I have 2 more tips for you. So this is what the public listing of your business would look like here on the right-hand side. One of the things that I want to make a note of is obviously that post that I just made. As you can see, 9 minutes ago, that post was made, so you can see it here. The next tip that I have for you is what's even better than having your customers leave you a review is having them submit a picture. That is probably one of the most powerful things. The last tip that I have for you is probably the most powerful, but having a customer submit a picture not only helps your ranking because Google sees that your customers are interacting with your profile, which means they want to show your profile to more customers that are like them. But it obviously, again, it goes back to social proof. It's showing that people are actively using your service and they're even posting pictures. And so right here under reviews, when you send this to your phone, your customers can come here and they can add a photo directly to your profile. Now, obviously, this is why you want to be active on your Google, your business manager, because what you don't want to happen is your customers adding photos of things that you don't want the public to see, right? So if you have a bad experience and the customer starts sharing bad photos, you need to make sure that you're keeping up on that and removing any bad photos that might be added. So another tip that kind of goes along with having your customers write reviews is make sure that they are adding photos when they can, especially if you have really good rapport with a customer. Make sure that you can try and get them to add a photo. The final tip that I have, I think we're on either 7 or 8, the final tip, and this is, from what I have read and understood, because this is a relatively new feature, it's one of the more powerful things that you can do to really uprank your Google listing. And that is sharing the posts that you make to your Google business listing to social media such as Facebook. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you're actively going daily and you're adding posts and updates on your Google business listing, one of the things you can do is you can actually click on the posts. This is the post that we just made. And there's this little triangular looking symbol here. And we can click that and we can share that directly to Facebook. And so this is helping two ways. One, it's Google is seeing that you're using a lot of their newer features and they want to reward you. Two, what it's doing is it's spreading, it's like an SEO tactic because it's taking all of your information and it's copying it in another place. It's giving Google more places to scan when people are searching for your service. So you can imagine if we made a post here that had a handful of keywords in that and we share that to Facebook, when people are searching for services in your area, it's going to pull up posts that include those keywords that you've made, not only on Google, but on Facebook as well. And that's pretty much, the 7 or 8 tips that I have for you guys. If you start using every single one of these tips on a daily basis or as frequently as you can, you will see your business listing start getting organically ranked much higher. You don't even need to have a website in order to do most of this stuff, and you don't have to pay anybody. It's just being diligent and making sure that you're keeping up with it. So let's recap some of the tips that we talked about today. The very first tip was posting daily, if not, 2 to 3 times a day directly on your Google business listing. Make sure that you add all of the services that you provide with keyword heavy descriptions in every single one of the services that you provide in that listing. Go and double check your description. Like I said, you have 300 characters that you can fill up with keywords that pertain to your business that will help your business get found when people make searches that are related to the services that you provide. Get reviews, get as many reviews as you possibly can. Find some creative way, if you don't already have one in place, to get a review out of almost every customer. I would really sit down and focus on one of the best ways that you can do this because it is really going to help your business grow if you can start to get a lot more reviews coming in more regularly. And to that, make sure that you are responding to every review that comes in because you want to create that engagement with your customers. Also, make sure that you are trying to get your customers to add pictures. If you build a really good rapport with somebody, send them, after you provided them a service, send them a link to your Google business listing and just ask for them to, submit a picture of the work that you did today because it's really going to help with that organic ranking. And then the final tip is, as you're making these posts daily, hopefully on your business listing, make sure that you're sharing them on Facebook as well because it's going to help build that SEO tactic, and then it's also going to help because Google's going to reward you for using that feature in particular. All right, guys, so that's my 7 or 8 tips that I have for you. Like I said, if you can put these into motion and start doing this regularly, I guarantee within 30 to 60 days, you're going to see that listing start going up. And then when people start searching for your services, you're going to start popping up higher and higher in that Google Map pack. And thus, you're going to start getting more conversions, more leads, and more sales. So I hope that helps you guys out. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that I can keep putting this content out for you guys, and have a great day.